Hello and welcome. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Jennifer. I'm so excited today because I am sharing the shaker memory box tutorial with you all. So just to give you a little refresher, this is what we're going to be making. And all the information and the measurements and pre-cuts and everything is going to be in a link in the description box. So go ahead and grab your supplies and we'll get started. First, we're going to be building the inner base. This is going to be the square box inside that sits on the outside base. And first, we're going to begin by covering all our pieces of chipboard. I'm also trying out a new glue. This is Lineco, and it's permanent, acid and ligand free. The only thing is it doesn't dry quick, so I do have to give a little time in between each to allow it to really dry before I can move on. But that's the only downside other than the art glitter glue that I have been using, which is a quick dry glue. But I think I'm going to switch back. I'm not sure yet. So we're just going to put this down and we're going to glue it down and cut our corners and fold it over just like we do any other normal piece of chipboard that we cover. Quick tip, always nice before you start a project to make sure your blade you're using is nice and sharp. Mine wasn't, so I had to go ahead and change my blade out after I had cut this paper here. This is an 80-pound cardstock I'm cutting through, and so it was giving me a little bit of trouble here, so I went ahead and changed my blade. But always remember to change your blade before you start your project, that way you don't have to do it right in the middle. Quick tip number 2, use your scoring tool to go ahead and make little score lines on the sides to help our paper bend over easier when we fold it. And before you fold over the last 2 flaps, make sure you go ahead and pinch in your corners just a little bit, tuck them in. This way, when you fold over the last 2 flaps, it'll create a nice mitered corner for you. In order to save on resources, I decided to not cut this paper down first and then wrap each piece, but to glue them on one piece first and then cut it out in between each, leaving enough space to cover each piece of chipboard. And this is the first time I did it this way. And I had to say I enjoyed the way it came out, and it was quicker and I used less paper. Okay, so all our pieces are now wrapped, and we can now begin to assemble our inner box. Oh, first I forgot. First we have to cut support strips to go on the inside and outside corners. I forgot to do that ahead of time, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it now. And after I show you how to do the first one right here, I'm going to I'm going to speed up the video for you. We'll put those aside for a moment, and now we can begin to put together our inner box pieces. I'm going to add some glue just to the bottom here of this one of the short ends, the side pieces. I'm just spreading the glue out to make sure I got it nice and even. And like I said earlier, this glue is not fast drying, so you're going to see me finick here for a little while to get these pieces to stick together. If you're using a fast drying glue, you'd have to hold it there for a little bit, but not as long as I am in the video holding it together, as you will soon see. So I'm just getting this piece to kind of stick so I could grab my second piece, which is one of the longer sides, and I'm going to add glue to the bottom of that one, and then a little bit of glue is going to go on the piece that I'm also holding right there on the corner. And I'm going to just make sure these line up right, and then make sure that the bottom of the box is flush. And this is going to take me a minute or so just to get just right so that I can move on to the next ones. Excuse my head here. I'm having to blow on the glue here to get it to try to set a little quicker so that I can at least get one of my little hinges to go on the sides. I'm not sure if you call them hinges, but little side pieces that help keep them together in place. And once I get one of those on, it'll hold those two together in place where I want it at, and it'll give me enough time to let the glue dry, and I can move on to the next side. And we're just going to continue to do the same thing with our other pieces. Add glue onto the bottom and onto the sides where they meet. And then we're going to add one of our little support strips in the corner until we have all four pieces together. And then we'll just let it dry. Thank you for joining me for part 1, and part 2 of the tutorial will be coming up next.